And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the tunes going. What are you guys laughing at? Are you laughing at me? Do I have something in my Do I have something in my beard? Is that what's happening? No? Okay.
No, it's magnificent.
Gorgeousness.
Oh, y'all are too kind to me. Okay, someone's dying tonight for sure now.
Oh, fuck! I'm going. Damn it.
Oh, God.
With that said, when we last left our heroes, traveling aboard the Presage airship, our heroes had some time to do a little bit of training before they reached the unofficial hometown of Trellis. Havo and Eli decided to go down into the sparring arena to have a little bit of a match against each other, but at the same time decided it best to train with one of the best. General Theris was there. That taught them both the importance of both speed and stamina. As they finished up their training, the rest of the heroes, save for Lucy, decided to go to the library in order to increase some of their skills when it comes to their knowledge and wisdom. However, as many of them sat down and began to read from the novels that would teach them oh so much, they noticed one of their companions was missing. The lovely, and sometimes bumbling, Alara. With confusion hovering above each one of the companions, it was Ollie who first thought to try and utilize some of his magic in order to locate Alara. However, as he cast the spell, it seemed that she was no longer in his vicinity. In fact, she wasn't on the ship at all. With worry, they decided to rush off to go see Lord Lucius Presage to see if he could assist, meeting with the other companions all the while. As they made it to the command room, they asked Presage if there was anything he could do to assist. Having producing a magic compass that would allow him to locate anyone, either on this plane or others. As he cast the spell over top of it, the dial on the compass simply began to spin, indicating that Alara was not on the ship, not on this plane, or any. As if she had disappeared, not even existing in the first place. While the party continued to question where Alara had gone off to, out in a star field, on a large rock, at the end of time, stood a pupil and mentor, squaring off against one another. Alara and Resilient. The battle was fiercely fought, however, Alara was not able to defeat her master or her mentor alone, and was sadly defeated. She was given a choice at that point in time. Would she give up her champion's weapon or face the consequences of not doing so? With bravery in her eyes, Alara chose to forfeit her life instead. With fond memories of her friends, Alara closed her eyes for what she thought would be the last time. But it seemed that even at the end of time itself, Alara still has some friends. As Echo Alara from the town of Boku suddenly appeared beside her, vanquishing Resilient back to the present time. Alara Echo then told Alara that she was not in fact an Echo at all, but the prime aspect known as Infinity. That she herself had went through the same trials and tribulations as Alara has in her forgotten past. That's when her and her companions failed. They became the primal aspects for the next iteration of Bastia's timeline. And as their conversation came to a close, Echo Alara sent our Alara back to her friends, but not before a few changes first. As Alara was formally transformed into Infinity's champion, the Lightbearer. While all this occurred, back on the plane, the mortal plane, Lucy, fraught with worry, searched the ship, starting in Alara's last known whereabouts. Alone in the library, he found one of Resilien's teleportation coins and immediately knew where Alara was. And with hope lost, Lucy fell to his knees. But even in the darkest of times, a light can shine through. As gusts of winds began to whip up around him within the library, a shining light burst out in front of him. As Alara stepped through, slightly changed. And while still upset and confused and angry and concerned, there was only one thing Lucy could think to do. To wrap Alara in his arms, as the two shared their first kiss. Just as a loudspeaker announced that they were arriving at their destination shortly, the birthplace of the wards of Defiance, Trellis. And so, our story continues. As the two of you separate from your embrace within the library, all seems quiet as the wind seems to die down around you. Slightly separating from your close embrace. What would you guys like to do?
We should go find the others. Tell them you're alright.
Yeah, okay. Where are they?
I think we left them in the command center shop.
Okay. Let's go.
Surprised you're not asking to hold my hand. I'll walk ahead of you.
Not even waiting? Okay. She'll be like, and then just follow.
As you begin to make your way out, Lucy, you take note of Alara's staff, the one you have seen so many times before. Somehow it's changed. No longer a sharp point at the top, it now curls over, with the lantern attached to it. Inside, seemingly a blue, small light flickering.
So I take it you and the lantern there are friends now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I can tell everyone, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, me gave me the light for the lantern.
Right.
Future, or not future me, me from another timeline who may or may not be like one of the primordial people. It's very confusing.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it works now, I think. I haven't really gotten to use it other than just stand here. It looks really pretty, right?
Yeah. And look at your dress. It's not tattered. And
Yeah. Ollie's going to be so happy he doesn't have to work on it again.
I hope so. I hope he doesn't think, it is too late or something. How critical he can be of himself.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. He'll like it. I'll do a spin and it'll all be fine.
That always goes well.
Maybe with the lantern now, maybe I'll be better at those things.
A balance? Sort of. Okay. If you think so, then I believe in you.
Okay.
Alara, out of game, with your newly changed staff, I'd like you to go into your inventory and delete the Staff of Time and replace it
scary.
with Infinity's Beacon.
Oh.
Yo.
What is that? Add items. Infinity. Oh, I'm spelling that wrong. Infinity's Beacon. Add to equipment. I see it. Oh boy.
Man,
Look
this
at
is
all
a big
these
ship.
things. Oh my gosh. Lucy, my staff is so cool.
I saw.
She waves it around.
Very pretty.
The two
Did
begin
you
to
say
head-
infinite bacon?
No.
Yes, infinite bacon.
Trix
Who
would be
said
so
infinite
excited.
bacon?
I hate you all. As the two companions make their way outside of the library back to the command center, you enter in the familiar doors, only to find all of your companions standing around the large table.
Well, I found her.
Holy shit.
Hey,
Hey.
welcome back.
Did you go shopping?
No.
You look different.
Oh,
Right?
did you
Yeah.
get someone else to work on your dress? Because
Ooh.
I would have fixed it for you. I
I
was
know.
getting better at it.
You were Ollie. I couldn't stop it. This just happened. Look, the lantern. It works now, and she'll hold it out.
Changing the subject.
Maybe start from
Oh, that's
the beginning with them.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay. So, well, I was in the library and shit, I was gonna get one of the spells from there, which I forgot to get. God damn it. Okay. I was gonna take this really cool spell, and then literally right as the guy was like, "Oh, here's the spell," he just like froze, and then Racilian showed up. And then we talked a little bit, and he asked if he could show me something. And so I went with him.
Lucy
And-
flicks your nose when you say that.
Why are you flicking my nose?
You're supposed to take me with you.
I
Still
am-
mad about that.
I didn't have time. I didn't have any time. I tried. That's why I called. That's why I
Go
sent you a
on,
message.
finish the story.
Time wizard with no time. That's kind of odd.
Could have said no.
Havo, I had to. I told you. We've been over this. I had to try. Anyways, I went, and he took me to literally the end of time, which was super scary.
But I couldn't
was,
find you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like literally minutes have gone by, but Lucy seems like a lot of time has gone by, so I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I was literally on an asteroid with Racilian watching the end of time, which, by the way, the silence takes over the world. I was watching it happen. What happened after that was a bit messy. Racilian, I couldn't convince him. And then he almost killed me. It was really scary, and I was really sad. I thought I was never going to see you guys again. And then me, I think like primordial me or me from another timeline literally came out and saved me by, I think she just like banished Racilian back to where he was before. And then we talked a little bit about how well, now Lucy's with us this time, so I think all the other timelines think that we're gonna win this time. But yeah, Racilian's still alive. He wanted the lantern. He doesn't have it. And That's what happened. Now I'm back here. And the lantern works. Me passed on the light of the lantern to me.
So were you at the end of our timeline?
I think so.
So then we do fail.
Well, now that I've seen it, we can change it.
That's good. As I'm looking at her,
Yeah.
do I notice any sort of glow around her?
Ollie, as you stare towards Alara, you do get a sense of a vibrant cobalt blue aura that seems to be surrounding her. It waves and flickers like that of a flame.
You've bonded with your lantern. I could see the aura around you.
Yeah, I did. What does the aura look like?
It's a blue flame.
Is it cool? Does it look pretty?
It's almost like a sparkly firework show.
That's amazing. It's sparkly. Oh my gosh. Oh, Ollie, tell me. And then Alara will spin around. Does her dress still sparkle?
As you spin around, the sparkles do persist. However, there seems to be a streak of light that seems to combine with them, almost like the sparkles are now attached to a ribbon of light itself.
Cool, right?
Yeah, someone did a really good job with that.
Ollie, you did such a good job with this. It just it happened. Like when you transform, it's the same thing. Ollie, you are the best craftsman that I know, the best smith that I know. And if I ever need any help with anything, you're the first person I'm going to for that. I promise.
Thank you. You're lying, but I will get better.
I'm not lying.
Insecurities aside, in short, Racillion is still out there. It's still a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea
Yep.
likely can't be trusted if apparently we're supposed to end with the silence actually happening. And yeah.
It's pretty clear that you know how we keep hearing about like time resetting? I think in all the other timelines, Racillion wins and resets time.
I don't think so. Didn't the Oracle say that in some timelines Racillion wins, in some timelines Rhea wins? That wasn't my understanding.
That's true. Well, I don't know. Somehow time keeps resetting itself. And then we are sort of reborn. Ish. Not us.
Yeah.
But versions of ourselves.
None of
So
those
what are we
timelines
gonna
said we
do?
win, right?
Yeah, what are we
Um,
gonna do to change it so that way we can
Well,
succeed?
I feel like, I don't know, a lot of people are really being ominous about this, but they keep saying that Lucy's with us, and that hasn't happened.
No pressure. She looks a little uneasy.
I don't know what that means.
Wait, is Pavo? He's reborn, right? But doesn't he have memories of previous battles? Is he reborn from different timelines?
I only have the vision from that one incident. So
Was
as
that
far as-
incident from this timeline?
I have no idea. I would assume
Hmm.
so. So when in this timeline Thule was put into its resting place, apparently I was there a long time ago. And I was reborn now that it seems that he's being reawoken. So I can only assume that this is the current timeline. I have no memories of anything else. I've never seen a vision of anything else.
I think, for now at least, would be beneficial for us to focus on questions we can answer, like what we're gonna do next.
We still have to deal with the marching horde of undead and
Right, we'll be in Trellis shortly, so
We got to
So
try and
we-
get that book for Alara.
Yeah.
Select whoever's gonna join us in our little army.
Hey, what does the lantern do?
Well, it feels like it's really powerful. It feels like actually, why don't I try something? Eli, can I have your cloak?
Yeah. I'll take it and he'll hand it to her with a dirty look at Ash.
I blew a kiss.
I flip him off.
Alara will ignore that, and I guess she'll she'll take the lantern and she will hold it up to the cloak and use time restoration, which you see a glowing light, a glowing blue light cover the cloak, and it's sort of glitters. And then comes down back to looking like normal again.
Did you fix it?
I don't know. Try it.
What did you do to it? Because I might have to wait for it to work.
I put it back in time how it used to be.
Can it just fix things, or can you do that with people?
I can do it with people, kind of. Things and
Holy
people.
shit.
Yeah,
That's badass.
Just go back in time.
yeah. It's
So
pretty
do we
cool.
have like unlimited chances if we screw up?
Oh no. I can't send people back in time. I can put them back in time. Like let's say me. Dave, out of game, how much did I heal from me healing myself? Other version of me healing me.
You would have restored about half your hit points.
Okay. So then I will use another charge to restore the other. Well, I'll say it like this. And she'll like take the staff and sort of wave it around her, and then she'll also be covered in like the blue sparkly light. And you'll see like a lot of like the scratches and bruises on Alara start to disappear. And I'll roll for it. See, I just put my body back in time a little bit. It's like restoring time.
Holy shit.
Does time ever catch up afterwards?
I don't know. I just got it.
That's going to be interesting.
So you couldn't talk him out of it, eh?
No. It was really sad. I think that he didn't hear anything that I had to say, no matter what. And he literally almost killed me for the lantern.
Well, I'm
So
glad
does
you're
that
okay.
mean we have no choice then? We have to stop him.
Lucy will rub Alara's back.
Thanks.
Lucy, as you rub Alara's back,
Oh my god. No.
Go ahead,
Please
say
be
it.
snot hands. Snot hands.
Oh my god, no. Ew. Cooties.
you're reminded of how good it is to hear her voice again. You, my friend, have been inspired.
Boo. Boo. I'm riding.
Okay. Thank you for not sneezing on my back. It's great. Fantastic.
Open mouth sneeze on your back. Do you like that?
Don't.
All right. Well, I guess we're almost there.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm a lot better now, but I'm pretty much out of power. I had to use everything. That's the other thing that's super scary about Rosillian. I also hit him with like a really, really powerful spell, and it basically just shook it off.
Next time it won't just be you. We'll take him down together.
I hope it'll be enough. He's really powerful. I don't think we should underestimate him. And he clearly doesn't care the way he used to about me anymore. So I don't think he'll take it easy on us.
Well, I'm going to give it my all. I refuse to lose any more of you guys. I won't let it happen again.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can do. Like we've always done.
We're a strong team.
By
We
sticking
just have to stick
together.
It's Pava looking at Alara.
Staring right at Alara.
Pava, what's wrong?
You left and you knew it was a bad move.
It wasn't a bad move to me.
You almost died. How is that not a bad mood? Obviously, we're very grateful that you are here with us. But the fact that you were warned that this could go wrong and you still decided to separate us just because you had a hunch. We work better together. We do not work great separated. Bad things happen when we separate.
Well, this is something that I had to do on my own. And there's two parts to that. The first part was Rosillian stopped time all around me. I had no time. I promised Lucy I was going to take Lucy, and I couldn't even take him. On top of that, to be honest, even if I had the choice, I don't know if I would have taken you all with me, because I knew the risk, and it was my risk to be taking.
I think it was badass. I think it shows you got guts. You did what you had to do.
Thanks, Eli.
I'm just really glad you're back.
Me too. Me too.
Good job. We'll give her props.
She'll awkwardly.
Yeah, we were all very worried about you, but I mean, I can't say that we were as worried as Lucy. He was very frantic and tearing the place apart looking for you. So
No,
I think he
let's
was-
happy.
not
yeah, he
be
was probably-
crazy. I was
I think he was crying at one point. Eh?
no,
I'm pretty
I
sure I
was
saw
Might have been,
tears.
yeah.
remark.
Definitely.
there was a bit of
Mhm.
liquid in his eyes. Yes.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
Trellis. Look, guys, if you left.
As Lucy says this, you look out the cabin bay windows only to find that his attempted segue is true. For down below, you now see the city of Trellis coming into view.
Oh, damn it. I wish I had more time to shower. Pavel kicked the shit out of me.
Ah,
I stink. Ugh.
you kind of do.
Yeah.
But in a nice way.
No, in the way that people stink, I think is.
All right, let's find this army and stop smelling Eli.
The Hawkins Institute?
That would be the
It's a good
best
first step.
place to start.
All right, let's do it.
As you continue onward with your conversation, Lord Lucius approaches the group. I see you are all in better spirits than last time I saw you. Alara, pleasure to see you again, my dear.
Laura will try and curtsy and see if anything feels easier.
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead and make a performance check for me.
God, here we go. Here we go. All right, using the Alara dice. Okay. The fucking 10. That's a 12. Come
That's
on.
average.
Not awful.
Okay, at least it's not a 1. That's fine. Moving on up, right?
As you curtsy towards him, it seems a bit awkward in your new dress, but you pull it off as he gives a slight bow towards you as well. So Ollie was mentioning to me that this was one of the first places that you came to when you reached Qatar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fond memories here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we shouldn't greet it. Inside these confined walls, will you all join me on the deck as we approach?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Wonderful. As he turns and begins to make his way to the doorway. As you all continue to follow behind him, making your way to the deck proper, you feel the cool air rush over top of you again. As you fly over the city harbor, the two familiar towers that stand guard at the bay immediately take notice of the large airship with the two massive blue arcane eyes that reside on the top of each of them. They watch intently as the Presage airship finds the center of the bay. And just as you feel the familiar tug of the airship stopping, a slew of water columns jettison up from the water's surface. The water streams stretch up high as the airship's main rail, with the ends curving over the side and splashing down directly on the deck. From the now bent columns of water, several water elementals emerge, with one in particular seemingly holding a clipboard. The familiar form of the water elemental, Deus, stands in front of you once more. He begins to speak with one of the ship hands before taking notice of you all. He looks down at his clipboard for a brief moment, before raising his head once more. He looks to the rest of the water elementals, saying something in Bubblish, before they all stand at attention, raising their arms to their foreheads, saluting all of you.
Hi.
He walks a little bit closer to the group. Bloom, bloom, bloom. Bloom, 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 bloom.
Does anyone
Don't
know
get
what
that.
the hell he's saying?
Forgot my translator in the back.
Shoot. Wasn't there somehow that, or was that Alcor that we understood last time? I can't remember.
I don't know what are they speaking?
I don't know.
Are they speaking primordial?
No, they're speaking
I
a language known as Bubblish.
Publish.
I don't speak Bubblish. No. I like fire. I don't like bubbles. Ugh. I step
He'll
away
just
from the
cock
water
his eye at
elemental.
it.
We can't understand you. I don't know if you can understand us, or if you understand Common, or Alara will speak in Elvish, Dwarvish, and then Celestial. Or any of these languages.
As you repeat your statements 4 or 5 times over, he just nods his head.
Okay. Well, I don't know what we're supposed to do right now. Anyone else
Ollie?
knows?
Can you still summon water elementals? Maybe you can act as a translator or something.
I can, but I'm not sure I would understand what my water elemental's saying.
Wasn't he talking to you when we were fighting the crabs?
Oh yeah.
I swear I heard
Okay.
him say, "Your wish is my command."
All right.
Wasn't it the captain that spoke to this last time when we first arrived on the boat?
Gosh, it's been so long.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank
Well-
here.
Does anyone have any water on them?
As you
Some
say this, he
water.
walks over and holds his hand out as it drips down into the bowl.
God.
Thank you. All right. Blah 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 blah. Thank you.
Nailed it.
I'll summon my water element.
Ollie, make an intimidation check.
Oh no.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that was an 18 too.
Did you say about my mother?
Wait, but he understands? He understands English in the common, but he doesn't speak it.
Seems that way.
Okay.
Ollie.
Summon.
As you summon your water elemental, the bowl begins to whirl around like that of a small whirlpool before a small stream comes up directly from the center of it. It splashes down over top towards the deck itself as a familiar water elemental rises directly in front of you. It stretches. Pleasure to see you again, sir.
Pleasure's all mine. Can you act as a translator for us? These people are speaking aquatic type of language. Maybe you can
Bubblish.
understand, and we don't know it's published. Metagaming.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought they said. I thought Presage said publish. Never mind. Never mind.
So if you could translate for us, that would be amazing and super helpful.
I would be happy to do so for you, sir. He turns
All right.
over to the water elemental and begins to speak perfect Bubblish. You hear the strange sound of almost water being pulled down as if your head was underwater. Your water elemental turns back to you. He says, "Welcome back to Trellis, to the Lords."
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a lot for just that.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like me to ask him, sir?
Yes. What do we want to know from these guys?
I don't remember these guys.
I don't know. They just sort of showed up and started talking. What do they want? Ask what's up. Why are they here?
Yeah, can you just ask these fine water people, how's it going? Why are you communicating with us? And ask that in a nice way. Ask them, do they need anything from us? Please.
Absolutely. He turns and begins to communicate back to them. The two talk back and forth for a moment before he turns back to all of you. He says that they are the guardians of the bay. Anyone that enters here, they usually do the docking and making sure that everything's all right with them. They also say their day is doing fine. And now that they know that this is the Lords of the Defiance vessel, they won't shoot it down.
Oh,
Great.
fantastic.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank them for not shooting down our vessel and ask them if it'll be okay if we park it here for what might be, are we staying here for a day, guys, or probably around a day?
A couple days, give or take.
Of course. Turns back, once again, reiterating, translating back and forth. Your water elemental then turns back to you, Ollie. It shouldn't be a problem. However, would you be able to lower the ship at all, a little bit closer to the water's edge? Just so that it doesn't cause panic with the people of Trellis.
Oh yeah, no problem. Father, would you be able to get the crew to lower the ship a little bit? They don't want people getting too nervous.
Yes, I standing right here, Ollie. I can absolutely hear him. He waves his hand, and a few minions kind of run off in multiple directions.
I wasn't sure if everyone else can understand my water elemental.
That's a good point.
A few moments later, you feel the ship now beginning to descend slowly down into the bay.
Think of my water elemental name. I shall call you Michael Bublé.
No.
Michael, could you just ask them? We haven't been here in quite a long time. Is there anything we should know about Trellis? Has anything serious happened since we've been gone for? Alara, how long have we gone? We've been gone for?
DM, how long approximately have we been?
You know,
gone
I'm
for?
going to ban that ability just because it makes you all so damn lazy.
It's a feat.
I know.
Come on.
That's why I'm going
Oh,
to
we're
get rid
supposed
of
to
it
keep
next
track
time.
of
So
that's like, damn, 50 sessions at least.
It's a feat. Yeah, I forgo an entire ability point for it. So
roughly since the last time you were in Trellis, it would be probably about 2 months' time. Roughly.
it's been about 2 months.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
Michael, can you just ask them anything we should know about the past 2 months since we've been here?
You do know that water elementals have names, right, sir?
Oh, what is your name?
I was summoned. You did not create me.
Could it be a nickname?
Make a persuasion check for me.
I mean, your name's probably fine and all. Like, I could call you by your name, but oops. That's the wrong one. But 21.
21. You know what? Michael Bublé is a fine name. I will wear it with honor. I will sing it from the mountaintops, but only around a certain time of the year.
We need to put this on TikTok and then tag Michael Bublé in it. I'm just
The two water elementals seemingly turn to one another and have a relatively lengthy conversation. It takes almost the entire time for the ship to descend down into the waters before they finish conversing. As Michael turns back to you, Ollie, it seems there have been many changes since you were last here. First and foremost, there has been a change in leadership. The merchant barons seemingly have vacated Trellis and all of Qatar itself. They've made their way west. The city is now run by a council member of temporary ownership, or custodianship.
Ooh.
Sorry?
Who? Is my mic okay? Or
Yeah,
no?
I just didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Who?
They said that the council is made up of a few individuals. There is a Professor Birdie, a merchant from the lower district that represented the people there. His name was Bavicus, if I heard that correctly. As well as two others. A spiritual leader of sorts, as well as someone named Lady Quinn.
Love it.
All the people we want to talk to in one place, it sounds like.
Yeah.
What about your
where are
mom?
they? Oh,
Good point.
Michael Bublé's mom?
No, Lucy's
No.
mom.
Oh.
They didn't mention anyone else by name. However, they did mention that a delegate from another place has arrived not too long ago with a group of refugees.
Sounds about right.
That might be your mom. So where would we be able to find this new council?
He looks back towards looks back towards Douse. Douse simply saying a few bubbly type words as Michael turns back to you. Apparently they can be found in the town hall.
Amazing.
Said there.
Tell them they've been super helpful and thank them a lot for their assistance.
Right away, sir. He turns, speaking to them. They have a little bit of a conversation, and as they finish, the water elementals that had come up from the bay stand at attention, just as the large ship seems to rest down within the water. They salute you all once more before turning back into jettisoned streams of water, jumping over the sides once more. Michael turns towards you, Ollie. Is there anything else I can do for you, sir?
No, that's it. You've been super helpful. Thank you, Michael Bublé.
I am here to assist, as he splashes down into a puddle directly in front of you.
Well, that worked out.
All right,
And it
to the
feels
town
nice
hall.
to be in a town that actually welcomes us for a change.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
with all them in charge, like maybe they can know like all the local troops or can find us like a small little army to join the fight with.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I hope
So-
Bobicus doesn't ask us how his ale tasted, though. I don't think we ever drank it.
Oh my gosh, we
We
didn't.
did not.
We didn't.
Well, we just say we were waiting for the next time we were back in Trellis. We'll drink it with him later.
Oh, little white lie never hurt. We could just say it was amazing.
Yeah, just tell him we drank it.
Okay. Or that.
I feel like that's not going to go over well, but we can try.
Nope. It may
For
never
the
come up.
lulls. Okay. Off to the town hall.
For whatever reason, I just started thinking of that when I heard his name.
Jesus. As the ship comes to a full stop, Lord Lucius and his people guide you over to some of the large vessels that are specifically there for land boarding. You've all been in one before as you went to the temple, as well as your first expedition up to the airship itself. As you all gather inside of the small vessel, Lord Presage joining you at this point, as well a few of what you would assume is servants, some bodyguards also join in a secondary ship. Before Lord Lucius gives the word, the two ships begin to float from their docking points on the deck of the airship as they float over the side of the railing, splashing down into the water below, making their way to the dockings. As you arrive in the docks, exiting your ships respectively, you take note of the familiar hustle and bustle of the harbor district of Trellis. Individuals of all shapes, sizes, races, and more, seemingly scurrying about their day. However, there is two things different that you notice this time around. One, it doesn't smell as bad as it did once before. And the second thing, there seems to be many more smiles on the faces of the individuals.
Did good here.
For once.
For once.
Yeah.
Feels nice, to return somewhere that's burned down or filled with people that hate us.
Mm-hmm.
That we know of yet.
That we know of yet. Thank you.
I don't think we made enemies here, or at least the ones that we did are gone.
I think so. I think you're right, Pop.
Yeah.
I don't know if that church is still in business that's trying to
Oh, right.
drain people of all their money.
That was Temple of Solace. Yeah.
Hopefully they're gone.
Yeah.
We should check.
Do you make enemies often?
Everywhere we go.
Literally, yeah.
No. I mean,
Everywhere.
Good to know.
Come on.
Good to know.
We're always well intentioned.
I
We
I-
are.
I will walk 5 paces behind them at one time.
Mark.
As you continue to make your way up the familiar roadway, the
Sorry. While we're walking, I want to like pull Eli to the back of the group. Be like, yeah.
Oh God. What are you gonna
Is that
do? to me?
Eli or Jess?
That's Jess.
Eli.
Okay. He'll kind of like hang back.
I have to tell you something crazy.
Like about Racilian?
No. Okay, so get this. Okay, I'm on a rock in space, literally watching the world end, being murdered, and then it's all craziness. And then me coming out. I save myself. I'm like, hey, she's really cool. She leaves. I get transported back. There's this blinding light, and then like Lucy's standing there. He's looking so cute, and he looks all concerned. And then like he gets like mad at me for like, leaving without him. I don't know. He obviously was concerned. And then I was like, what? And he was like, what's with your hair? And then he kissed me.
So he kind of like lets the silence linger for a bit because he's waiting for her to say something, and then realizes that was the point. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Did something like happen? And I'm sorry. I'm confused.
What?
That's the
Eli.
story?
Yeah. The story is that it's crazy because Lucy kissed me. Well, and I kissed him back.
I'm just trying to understand. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool. I guess.
That's it. That's it. Eli, you're like my BFF. You're supposed to get excited with me. I'm
Yeah, that's
so cool. Do I look cool? Do I seem cool, calm, and collected? And Alara will stand in a pose.
I'm like no less calm or collected than you usually are, I guess.
Okay, I'm usually pretty calm and collected, so that's good. So, why aren't you excited?
That's great, I guess. If you seem really happy. I'm happy that you're happy.
Okay. This is not how I
Sorry.
expected this to go. How I imagined it to go was me telling you being like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. And then we would like gossip and you'd be like, oh, how was it? And I'd be like, oh, and we'd be excited. And then like we'd hug because that would be fun. And like I almost died, Eli.
Yeah, I know. I'm very excited that you're okay. Do you know who I am? Are you confused about how?
Yeah. We used to talk all the time. And I know recently you've been a little bit like standoffish, whatever, but I thought you would.
Oh, I'm not trying to be standoffish. Listen, I'm really happy that you're happy. Honestly.
Okay. Because it all worked out. Because remember when he was really mad at me and I was like, what should I do? And you were like, just give him space. And then you were right. And it ended up being fine.
You guys seem to have been fine for a while. Are you guys like an item now or whatever? Is he your boyfriend?
I don't know. Maybe. Should I ask him? Or do you think that's gonna scare him? Is that too much? What should I do next? Should I talk to him? Should I tell him about like how I really feel about him?
I feel like no matter what you do, they'll be all right with it.
Okay.
That's
Meanwhile,
just
a few paces up from you two. Well, your hair looks nice today. Followed by silence.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry that I'm not as enthusiastic as you thought I would be.
yeah. Why not?
It's not really my style,
Stop.
I guess.
Sorry, say that again.
It's not really my style, I guess. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Not your style.
You're kissing Lucy. Pavo's having sleepovers with the Countess.
Pavel's having
Lot of-
sleepovers?
Oh,
Pavel had a sleepover?
yeah, he said that. Yeah, I mean, he said that they went on a date and then they had a sleepover.
Pavel went on a date? I want to go on a date.
I hope he doesn't mind that I told you.
Well, can I tell him that I know? So that maybe I can talk to Pavel about what his kiss was like.
You think they kiss too? Everyone's kissing.
Don't you kiss when you have a sleepover? Oh my god!
Is that what you do at sleepovers? I don't know.
I don't
I've never
know.
had a sleepover before.
We've had lots of sleepovers, but I guess not like that.
Well, we don't kiss at our sleepovers.
No.
I've never kissed anybody.
Well, me either. Until like literally an hour ago. That's why I'm freaking out.
Yeah, I guess I can see why you'd be freaking out.
Do you want to kiss somebody? We could like find you somebody around here.
He'll look at her and he'll give like one of those like adolescent boy looks like he'll act like he's grossed out.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Kissing seems kind of weird.
okay. Well, if you see somebody that you like and you get a feeling like you want to, let me know and I'll be your wingman.
I guess.
Okay. Well, now we're a team. Now we have a goal. We get an army and we find you a hookup.
Jesus Christ, what is happening?
Conversation got way past me.
While this conversation is happening, I'm gonna turn to whoever's beside me and be like, "Hey, now that Eli's farther back, it smells a lot better here than it did last time we were here."
Hey, shut up, Trix. I heard that. I'll get you with my jar of farts later. See how you like that smell.
Okay.
It's not like the world is ending or anything.
No big deal.
No.
So are you and Lucy gonna have a sleepover now?
Laura will just panic. Sheer panic goes across her face. She goes beet red. I don't know. Is that
So when your boyfriend and girlfriend, what happens first? Do you have a sleepover or do you kiss first? What's the order?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a sleepover with Lucy, so I guess you kiss first. That's my experience. We should ask Pavel.
Yeah, can I roll a perception check to see if I can hear this conversation?
I mean, mine's pretty high, so I'm trying to ignore it anyway.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check for me, Lucy.
I believe I have inspiration.
You do.
Use that dice you drew 20s all over.
Don't need the. That's an at 20. Don't need the inspiration.
Good, he used it.
Oh no.
While you're doing your best at this point to not give on in any way, shape, or form, 100% you can hear everything that's being said. How does that make you feel?
That in
Lucy?
mind as y'all keep talking, I guess.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Well, we don't know that he can hear, do we? No.
Nope.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well-
maybe should we call Pavel? Call Pavel the conversation. Pavel.
Pavo
Don't
turns
do it,
and
Pavo.
looks.
We all look.
Giving Lucy a look of confusion.
Don't
Pavo, come here.
ignore them.
So are you all standing in the back with me? That's what's happening right now?
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, at this
We're
point,
talking
Ash is
over
only
Ash.
like a foot behind you at this point.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I love it.
All right, Pavo will go over and see what's going on.
Pavo, I heard that you had a sleepover.
Looks right down at Eli.
What? It's just a sleepover. There's nothing bad.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so we have a question for you. So when you had your sleepover, did you
Mhm.
sleep over first or did you kiss first? Sorry, I'm not gonna break. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And what do you do in a sleepover?
Yeah, what happened in your sleepover?
Okay. Now remembering what Lucy literally just said. Okay. It kind of happens all at the same time. And then Pablo's just going to turn around and start walking a little quicker ahead.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's
That sounds
fine.
like a
Kiss and-
lot.
How do you kiss and sleep over at the same time?
Pavo, fly away, Pavo. Fly away.
I'm just walking faster. I'm leaving this conversation.
Isn't Pavo like 8?
Hey, I'm an adult for birds.
He's an adult for birds.
Yes.
But yes, I'm technically the youngest out of everybody here.
So wouldn't you be an expert on the
most-
birds and the bees then, Pavo?
Yes, but I don't want to give a class right now.
Oh.
He's been real shady about that sleepover. He snuck out in the middle of the night, and then he told me he was gambling. And then all of a sudden I heard about this sleepover. I don't know what happens at sleepovers, but apparently you're supposed to hide them.
Oh, for the love of God. Lucy's still looking forward. They had sex. You know what sex is, Eli. By the way, I can hear everything you're saying.
Oh my gosh. Alara
And
just
the-
goes beet red and just
Same with
immediately shuts down.
He just eyes wide and looks at Alara and then like nose on the ground.
Yep, looking down, not talking. Just
As we
straightforward.
march to the city hall.
Yeah. I'm glad this is what's on our mind while we're
This is the most awkward of silences this group has ever had, by far.
Yeah, Pavo's not going to get into detail. Sorry, no matter what you say.
It's for the best. It's for the best.
As Ollie, as you overhear your companions and everything that seems to be happening, while you're not exactly sure what the hell they're talking about, you're reminded of your early days here, of a group of misfits with no idea what the hell they were talking about, but having a good time all the while. And with that, you feel a bit inspired.
Oh, that's why we fought that one time. He'll shoot his face.
Yes, I remember.
As the two of you look over to the familiar spot, for some reason it kicks up a memory, a muscle memory, as Lucy feels a sneeze, once again coming on, almost in the identical spot. Lucy, go ahead and roll a D100 for me, please.
91. Thanks, golden oldies.
Killer cats to join our army.
We already got Ash.
Gonna make a cat.
In a rare move, Pablo's actually gonna flinch on this one, considering we just pointed out the spot. So, like stand back.
I'm so glad this happened.
Oh no.
Suddenly, a strange sound is heard after the sneeze commences, almost like that of a saxophone playing.
Oh, God.
Beautiful, smooth jazz seems to caress all of your eardrums. Lucy,
God, what's happening?
I need you to go ahead and make a con save for me.
Poor
For
Ash.
contraception.
It's just like, who the fuck are these people?
That's a nat 2 for a total of 9.
As Lucy kind of clears his throat, all of a sudden the baritone in his voice grows more and more. Lucy, for the next, hang on, let me get a d6. 3 hours, you must speak in a lowered, sexier voice. As everything you say will come off as flirtatious.
Oh no.
All that sex talk, man.
I think I'm fine. Well, fuck.
You sound like Keanu Reeves.
This might make things awkward.
And as you continue onward through the streets, it's taken you just enough time to finally reach the town hall. Standing outside the statue, all too familiar, where you found the body of the strung-up Lionhead's son, Tinnitus.
Remember that?
As you kind of stand for a moment, taking in what's to happen next, as well as trying to figure out what the hell is happening with Lucy, you take note that there seems to be a bit of a crowd now forming around you. Now becoming suddenly aware of your surroundings, a few individuals seem to be whispering and pointing at you all.
Mara's waving at them.
How you doing?
Mara just looks at Lucy. Big eyes.
Yeah,
As you address the crowds, you hear a few whispers. It's them. It is them. It is them. As a young girl approaches you. Are you the wards?
Yeah.
A big smile crosses her face. It's them! It's them! As cheers suddenly appear from the lips of all of the individuals around you, as they all clap wildly and cheer your names.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Smile and wave, Eli.
Thank you.
Smile and wave.
I mean, Pablo doesn't let things get to him, but he's starting to like, I kind of like this for a
Yeah.
change.
As the commotion grows louder, the front doors of the town hall, more similar to that of the exterior of a cathedral, the large wooden doors standing roughly 10 feet tall with black iron wrought handles on the side, or on the fronts of them, where out walks the familiar face of Professor Winger, the newest leader of the town of Trellis, Birdie.
Hi.
Pavel gives a nice bow.
At it again.
No,
A
this time I'm not
large-
picking up.
A large smile graces her face as she spreads her wings out wide. Welcome back, my friends. And that's where we're going to take a short break for the evening. We're going to do a quick one. It'll just be a quick bio. So, we're going to continue onward shortly after. But as promised, we do have an announcement that's happening next week. And I can't give you the specifics just yet. However, we're going to do a slight poll. I would like you all to tell me what I should build next week. I know, very strange, but more will come next week. You'll understand. So, as soon as we go on break, I will throw up the poll. Actually, I will do that now. I don't know if I can do that right now. Can I hit the buttons? I can. Fantastic.
In the meantime, if you haven't already, use !dice to be entered in the giveaway for our sketch dice tonight. If you
Does
don't
that turn
win,
you on?
you can use code CAREFUL at checkout on their website to get 10% off.
Thank you, Lucy. That definitely rang my bell. I will put it up there for 5 minutes. Just ignore it otherwise. Anyway, I will start the poll now. With that said, guys, we're going to take about 5 minutes, go get some refreshments, so do that as well. Make sure you go get your apple juices, your carrot juices, your coffee juices. And Cherry Bombette, if you are out there, my dear, go get some popcorn. Because we're back in town, baby. The wards are back in town. We'll be right back. Where's the be right back screen? Oh, I screwed it up. We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
No.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. So I see that the magic item has won. Fantastic. I cannot wait to build it, and all will be explained in due time, my friends, in due time. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump back into tonight's episode. As you see the smiling face of Birdie once more, as she greets you at the doorway, while the cheers simmer down a little bit, waiting to hear what their new leader has to say. She looks to you all. Many things have changed since the last time you were here. And I'm sure you all have many stories to share as well. But I'm glad to see you all safe and sound.
It's good to see you again, Birdie. And Eli will give her a hug.
As you walk over, giving her a hug, you feel the down feathers. Fluffy and comfortable, like you're hugging a pillow. She hugs back as she pulls you away. Save some of the hugs for your parents, of course.
They're here. I was hoping that they would be here.
They are.
That's great.
Glad they made it safely.
Yeah.
Yes, they've been quite instrumental in helping with some of the refugees settle.
Take
Sounds
it
like them.
that the refugees are from Boku.
Forgot.
You see some of her feathers get ruffled for a little bit. Yes. Yes, they are.
That's good to hear. Thank you. You've done great work here so far, Birdie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. As she kind of brushes one of her feathers back. And you've done well as well. Have you gotten taller?
Not that I know of, but,
Well, you're looking...
maybe.
You're looking very well these days, Lucy. She kind of collects
look at
herself
Alara.
for a moment.
Alara's just like staring at Lucy, like mouth open, just taking it all in.
So is Ollie.
Eli nudges. Eli nudges Ollie, and Eli's like, "Do you think he wants to have a sleepover with her?"
I'm not really sure what the protocol is with sleepovers. I think we do want to sleep here tonight, so yes.
I love that
Forget it.
apparently like half
You
this
don't know.
party doesn't know what sex is. Like, it's just completely.
As Birdie kind of looks around to all of you, you can see and almost feel just how happy she is to have you all back. However, a bit of a commotion now kicks up behind you all as she peers over your shoulders. The crowd that was once circled around you now parts, allowing a small convoy of additional individuals. A few more whispers as they seem to point towards the symbol on the leader's chest. Birdie kind of cocks up a little bit, putting her hands behind her back proper. I see we have some more guests as well. Dignitaries from the Presage family, I see. As Lord Presage makes his way forward. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lord Lucius Presage of the Presage family. It seems you know my son and his companions.
Oh yeah, she doesn't actually know this form of me. It's me, Ollie Sprocket.
Ollie? You're no longer a man of metal.
Yeah, I've developed quite a bit since we last met. Thanks to Lord Gibble. I'm
And
flesh now.
Sorry, did I hear that correctly, that you are the heir to the Presage family?
Oh yeah, that's true too. I was actually instructed to keep that secret. It could be kind of dangerous walking around. People know I'm a Presage, but we're in dangerous. Sorry, choked on a grape. We're in dangerous times now, so it doesn't really matter too much that people know who I am.
She looks once again to all of you. We clearly have much to talk about, and many stories to tell. Lord Presage, it is an absolute honor for you to grace our city. Not to worry at all. It seems the timing was just right for me to come visit Trellis. But perhaps we should continue our conversation inside, as more and more people begin to gather around you. Yes, of course. Please, all of you, come in. As she steps aside, motioning for you all to join her. As you all enter...
Walk on in.
As you all enter into the building, being the first time that you've entered into the town hall, it is quite majestic. The merchant barons who had created this town hall seem to have not spared any expense to it. The large opening with beautiful shimmering floors of a polished stone. On the walls you see makeshift archways. Not makeshift, archways that seem to be carved into the walls themselves. A few sconces that seem to line the small pillars in between each one of the archways. And residing just above them, you see a number of banners, no longer flying the flags as you would typically see when you were last here of the Merchant Barons. Now flies the flags of the Hawkins Institute, with 2 wings represented in gold over top of a purple cloth. As she continues to lead you forward down the hall towards a doorway, she opens it up without saying much to any of you, only to find yourselves in, once again, a large meeting room. You can see that there have been 5 chairs that have been seemingly made to suit this table, with a number of smaller chairs now circling around out of place. The table itself seems to be made of a large, darker wood with intricate carvings on top of it. As you look atop the table, you now see it looks as though it's a bird's eye view of the entire city of Trellis. Birdie motions to you all. Please, come sit. As you all sit around the table taking your seats, as well as Lord Lucius. So, my friends, as you can probably guess, I've changed posts since last time you were here.
Seems like you're doing it.
Oh.
Seems like you're doing a good job.
All 3 at once.
Whoa.
Everybody looks really happy.
Well,
Lucy, you were saying.
Oh, just congratulations on your new post.
thank you kindly. I do not take this lightly in any way. And by no means will this be a permanent position. We are simply in the process of working out what structure will work for us. As it sits now, we have a small council that seem to have won the hearts of many of the communities within Trellis. Now that the merchant barons have gone and fled, someone needed to fill that void. Well, I didn't ask for this in any way, shape, or form. I felt it was my duty to continue on with the work that you had done here. Now, it might not be as action-packed as some of your adventures, but we're trying.
Doing an awesome job. Tancred would be proud.
Yeah.
You see her get a little choked up at the mention. Yes. I do miss him. But this is not a time for sadness. It is a time for celebration at your return. What is it that brings you back here? Although you are very welcome, of course.
You might not want to celebrate once we tell you.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
I think you're muted.
I am?
Yeah. Whatever you just said.
You're
I
good
didn't
now.
hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you're
didn't
fine
hear that
now.
last thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Well, you see, I can't believe y'all are making me do it.
Of course.
You hear? Oh, I take it you heard since the people have come down this way, seek refuge, but the people of Boku The undead horde that took over Boku has moved north to Thul's tomb.
I'm sorry, yes, of course.
Still with us?
Yes, yes, it's just, you just have grown so much since I last saw you. I'm sorry, I don't know what's come over me at all. The refugees of Boku, yes, of course, with the dignitary leader, Lady Vander.
Correct, yes. Lady Vander's actually my mother, so if you could maybe send for her if she's nearby, I'd appreciate it. However, as I was saying, the undead horde has moved north to Thul's tomb.
Also,
In short,
keep going.
we're here to request aid.
Jesus Christ.
I understand. But why would they be moving on the tomb now?
Well, we think this is all coming to a head.
All what is coming to a head? Last time we spoke, you were here. You were collecting the champion's weapons. I don't know how it all ties together.
We found the lantern.
Laura will hold up her staff. Really pretty, right?
Interesting. So you found more of these weapons then?
Weapons with the potential to wake Thul, yes. This is way harder for me, so you better fuck right off right now.
Okay.
Of course, the keys. I always thought it was
Yeah.
more of a metaphor. But I can understand now. Perhaps you were right. This isn't a time of celebration. I believe what would be best is to call the council here together. It will take some time, but I will send word. And in the meantime, I'd be happy to reunite you with your mother. The refugees have taken up homes or temporary lodgings in the now emptied merchant baron's mansions. Seems there was so much space that, well, it was a good fit, to say the least.
That's awesome.
Thank you for making sure they were taken care of. I appreciate it.
Of course. So tell me, the rest of you, what has happened in your travels aside from, well, potentially bringing the end of the world?
Well,
I actually saw the end of the world just a few hours ago. So there's that.
I'm sorry.
we lost.
You did what?
I saw the end of this time.
And?
It's not great. So we're going to stop it. So that's why it's really important that you help us. Please.
Well, of course, we'd be happy to help in any way we can. What is it that you're looking for help with?
Enforcements.
Undead armies.
People who can
I'm sorry,
fight.
to
Yeah.
face the undead armies.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone that can wield a weapon. We're gonna need all the help we can get.
I see.
We know it's a lot to ask.
It's a lot to ask, but if they don't, there'll be nothing left anyways.
we don't have many fighters here. We are a town of merchants and laborers. We do have a small guard, but, well, I wish Quinn was here at this point.
Where is she?
She heard the news of Gray. Went off looking for him. It was about a month's time ago, and while she checks in from time to time, she's had no luck trying to find him.
Is Lucius still in the room?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yes, well, until she finds him, or at least his whereabouts, there's no real lead to our guards here. Barbicus tries his best, but, well, he's a little forceful with them at times.
Where was her last lead on Gandalf? Or
Gray.
Sorry. So sorry.
Gray.
At least I took the other part.
All of the dark hearts tonight, my dear.
All the dark hearts.
All the dark hearts.
Take all the cookies, guys.
For you.
She's unaware where he went to or where his domain went to as well. It just seems that his tower disappeared, as you had all mentioned. But his whereabouts, we are unsure of.
I think we might know who, well, we know who's responsible.
Interesting. And who's
Wait.
that?
Father.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Does your compass work with people you haven't necessarily met?
Typically, it only works when I am the one to cast, if I've met the individual before. However, if any of you would like to try to locate this individual?
Yes, please. If you could hand it to me, maybe I can find him.
Well, unfortunately, it's back on the ship. I don't generally bring expensive magical items around with me.
Fair enough. Well, maybe later we can have a look.
I'll send one of my wards back.
Okay.
Now, Birdie, you were saying that you don't mind if I call you Birdie, do you? Of course not, no. Birdie, we are trying to gather the forces that we can. What efforts this might take, hard to say. We have a general understanding of what the power of these forces are, but we don't know just how large it is at this point. Now, we don't want to put you out, so to speak, but any reinforcements that you could provide would be helpful to the cause, of course. Birdie turns to all of you, and you all feel this way as well. These are not warriors. These are not champions. These are townfolk.
If we don't do something about this, we're all going down anyway. It's got to be all or nothing.
And weren't you at one point an adventurer? Could you not lend us a hand as well?
I was. I will speak with the council members first and foremost. If no one else will take up leadership, then I'm sorry, no. I will not allow these people to stand alone, unguided. However, if one will stand in my place, I will join you. However, if you wish to garner the simple folk of this town, I feel it best coming from the wards rather than the leadership. We will call for a town meeting where you can explain the situation.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Even if they can't fight themselves, maybe there's something else that they can offer that we don't know about.
Perhaps. Perhaps. With that said, it seems that we'll be waiting on a few things, so for the time being, if you wish to go see the refugees of Boku, I'd be happy to escort you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Much
Bets
appreciated.
is there. Maybe Bets is there too.
I sure hope so.
Yes, we all know
Maybe
Betsa.
She leaves an impression.
She's left a few to some of my guards at times.
I imagine she did.
She doesn't like to take orders from a lot of people.
No.
Very well then. I will have some of my people collect the other council members. We will reconvene here. But for the time being, shall we walk?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you all stand from the table, Lucius excuses himself. I believe it best that I head back to the ship. I will collect the magic item for you, the compass, as well as start to take stock of what inventory we have. If these are simple common townfolk, they're going to need to be armed. Unless
Thank you, Father.
you see a reason for me to stay.
Nope.
Very well then. Lucius stands with the rest of you as you walk towards the front doors of the town hall again. Saying a quick goodbye to your father, Ollie, the two parties disperse as he heads back down to the harbor area. Birdie leads you closer to the higher districts. As you make your way to the cliff top where you had been once before, you take note of your surroundings as they seem to have changed as well. Individuals scurrying all about. The remaining merchant barons' mansions all seem to be bustling with life as opposed to being more secluded and quiet like it was the last time you were here. As you turn your attention over to the Lionhead Manor, you notice that the entire building has now been torn down. And in its place, a beautiful garden seems to have been planted. Aside from the garden, a strange spectacle you take note of. As what looks like drawn versions of yourselves engage in the battle you had once taken place in. You stand and watch for a short time, once again watching the Black Night fall. As you stand together in triumph. of one of your most vicious foes. Birdie sees your attention to all of this. I see you like what we've done with the renovations to the Lionhead Manor.
Nice. Huge
Looks
improvement.
Yes, I thought so too. And the wonderful artist Vixen was the one to create these magical artistries, moving tapestries, if you will. Earned her a position of a junior custodian at the local gallery.
I recall
Remember
meeting her.
Vixen. Eli will
Very
blush a little
talented.
bit.
She is. Very much so. I have great hopes and ambitions for her. Given the circumstances, we decided to name the garden as a memorial to you all. This is Alcor's garden.
Laura will just definitely be tearing up. Like happy, smiling. It's really nice. I think you'd like that.
He was a very nice young man. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
I believe they are in this one, if I remember correctly. As you begin to approach one of the merchant baron's house, you hear bolstering out of one of the windows. Not there, you damn ass!
Oh,
Yes.
the voice of an angel.
I believe we have the right address. As she leads you into the manor, a few of the individuals kind of nod as they continue about their days. Walking inside in the front hallway, you see, standing in all of her majesty, directing seemingly everything around her, a small dwarven woman known as Betsa.
There she is.
Betsa!
Aye!
Hi, Betsa.
Hey, aren't you all a sight for sore eyes? Come here, all of you. I expect hugs from each and every one of you.
Hugs.
Okay.
Hugs.
Yeah.
Lucy pushes everyone out of his way and hugs her first. Picks her up and everything, swings her around.
As you swing her around, she's just kind of whacking down on you. Stop, put me down. I'm a grown woman.
You know you love it.
All right, come here, boy. And she leans in and gives you a kiss on the cheek. Now put me
Good to
down
see you
before I
again.
pull your hair out.
All right. Set her down.
Well, it's good to see all of you. But what
Good to
brings
see you got here safe.
We did. It was a bit of a travel. The two companions you sent me down here with were a little bit odd.
You mean well.
I was surprised to hear that they decided to go back into the jungle together. But Lynx was it. Her and the big one, Dendar, they seemed to get along in the bush.
Aw, that's so nice.
City wasn't really for them.
Yeah. I get
Yeah. Lynx isn't a city type.
No, she is not. But what brings you here?
So, well, one, to see you, of course. No wink. Betsa.
You know, I'm older than your mother, boy.
That wouldn't stop me. Unfortunately, I am spoken for now.
And what you mean by that?
Unfortunately.
Jesus Christ.
He's still sassy, guys. Just because he's tied down doesn't mean he's gonna change his whole personality.
Oh,
Okay.
Is
Sorry,
Mother
you
around?
said you're spoken for.
Yeah.
By
We'll
who?
look back at Alara. I'll look back at Alara, gonna open palm point.
She's blushing.
She walks over to Alara, hands crossed, looking a little stern.
Give her the business.
So you won the heart of my boy here.
I guess. He also has mine.
I only have one question for you, lass.
Okay.
You know you can do better, right? I'm kidding. Welcome to the family, love.
Alara, we'll give her a big hug.
I'm sure Lady Vander will be quite happy.
Oh, Lady Vander, yeah. Mm-hmm. She will be. Definitely. Alara will get super nervous.
Speaking of which, is she around?
Aye. I'll call for her right now. As she closes her eyes, muttering a small incantation, Alara, you recognize this as a simple sending spell. A few moments pass before you hear the sound of large heels clacking down a large staircase. Where is he? Where is my boy?
Right here. Good to see you again.
As she rushes down the stairs towards you, she stops as you open your mouth. Why are you talking like that?
You know, with the... And
Still
temporary, I'm sure. I hope.
Let's hope so. She
Come
pinches
here.
your cheek as you embrace for a long hug. Mother and son once meeting once more. So do you bring word?
We do. We do. Not all good news, I'm afraid, though.
When one brings word, it is very rarely good news.
Needn't trouble you with it now, though. It'll be time for that later.
All right. Well, if you wish to be a little secretive about it, that's fine. Birdie, it's a pleasure to see you as always. And you as well, Lady Vander. I forgot to mention that Lady Vander has been quite the delegate while she's been here, joining our little council, letting us borrow some of the wisdom of hers.
Got
Lady
a lot of
Vander-
experience.
Quite. Lady Vander, what Lucy and the rest say is true. There are dire times ahead of us. We are calling forth the council. I would be honored if you would join us. Lady Vander gives a nod. Of course. But perhaps now's not the time for sad thoughts. Perhaps we should all join in a bit of a celebratory toast to the reunion of friends.
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 Cheers.
Friends.
Cheers.
As you stand around the hallway, Lady Vander takes some time to show you around, to see what her and the rest of the refugees of Boku have been working towards. You see that they've now converted many of the rooms into standalone homesteads for many of the individuals there.
This looks great.
Yes, we've tried our best with what we've been given. Of course, the city of Trellis has been wonderful to us so far, giving any resources that we might need. I just hope that we can repay the favor one day.
Maybe when Boku's rebuilt.
In the world saved.
Well, we would have to have a little bit of an extermination with what's left over there.
Well,
What is left over there?
more on that later.
You have word of Boku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she doesn't know that all the things left.
Lucy
Got it.
steps on Ollie's foot.
If there's something that you have to tell me, Lucy, then perhaps now is the time.
Well, I was hoping we could just enjoy each other's company, but there's more at stake, I suppose. For the sake of not doing this again in this voice, I relay what I told Birdie to
Of course.
Lucy's mom.
I see. So, do we know if they've all left the city?
I'm afraid we haven't gotten any details. Is Lord Presage still with us? No, he left.
No.
You left to go back.
I see.
Yeah.
I suppose it would be worth looking into, though I don't know how we would go about doing that.
Yes, I don't necessarily have any scrying magics. Not
Did
for
you
Alara
say scrying? Yeah, did you say scrying? I can. Oh.
But I think she needs a point of contact,
Oh, no.
right?
No, I could scry, but I was actually just at the end of time on a rock in space, fighting somebody. Almost died. It was really scary. So I can't scry right now. I used almost all of my energy.
No woman, no scry.
Jesus.
Damn it.
God damn it. Well, perhaps tomorrow then.
Just gonna breeze over on a rock in space. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. I just need to rest a bit.
Understandably. Well, you are all welcome to stay here if you wish. We
Yeah,
have
be
we'll need a
nice.
place to stay.
of course,
Nice to have
yeah.
you close for a while.
we have plenty
Although,
of room, board.
Birdie, do you know where my parents are staying? I mean, I appreciate the hospitality, but I'd like to be where they are.
Probably
And
for the
who
best.
are your parents?
Birdie knows
No.
my parents. Birdie's there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You know my parents, Bruno and Dolly.
Ah, yes, Bruno and Dolly. This is my Lady Vander voice. I
Oh,
didn't think they'd ever be in the same room together. It's my fault. Yes, of course, they've been very helpful in the last few days of them being here. They've been more than happy to try and set up as many of the homesteads as possible. I believe they're in the mansion just next door. Or I guess the hostel would probably be the better way of putting it now.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
Of course. Of course. I'll make sure that we have a feast set up. In your honor, of course. We can do some proper celebrations then.
That'd be really nice.
And Birdie, as soon as you have been able to gather the council, send word to Betsa. We'll be sure to join you as well. Now, I'm sorry, it's... Being made the leader of the Bokuian people has been a very strange change for me. Typically, it was left up to my husband. Well, sort of. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Not right now, anyway. Right, guys?
Maybe later.
Lucy?
Good to see you again. I missed
Hey,
you.
Lucy, she probably wants to hear about your kiss with Alara.
Your what?
Alara will just nervously curtsy.
Only as transparent as ever.
It's your mom. She wants to hear about this. You finally found a nice companion.
Yes, I do want to hear all about this.
They're planning a sleepover too.
What? That was taken out of context and was never said.
Lara just goes beet red, staring at the ground.
Actually, you've known for a while that Alara and I have been together, right?
For what? For a while?
You introduced yourself as Lucy's girlfriend, and
Right.
we never corrected her.
Right.
Yes, something we will be speaking about in private during the festival.
Who, me and you?
No. Maybe.
Looking forward to it. Lucy
We'll
looks
see.
nervous.
She shakes her head at both of you. Young love. All right, well. Alara, you know how I feel about you, my dear.
I think I'm confused now. She nervously
had a
curtsies
talk.
again. Yeah, I know we had a talk. She seemed standoffish. Alara aggressively whispers to Lucy.
I mean, that was me telling you that, but
Okay.
but all right. Should have known because I didn't do a hugely deep voice, but
I'm sorry.
We'll have to
till later then.
till later. Now come here.
Not making eye contact.
As she pulls you into an embrace once more, giving you a kiss on the cheek. Before turning and leaving the room. Birdie looks towards you all. Well, I believe this is what we came for, is it not?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. Is there anywhere else you would like to go?
Well, at some point I'd like to go see my parents, but now that we're kind of, now that we have a second, maybe we should tell Birdie what we know about Gray in more specific detail.
Hey, well, so Solus, you know Solus, right?
The legend, yes.
Oh,
Are you
muted?
No?
I think it's
Oh.
just in the
Oh,
Zoom call.
Didn't pick up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Solus is actually Russillian, who I used to know really well. And then he kind of lost his mind. He's the one that has Gray.
The last time we heard from Gray, Alara sent him a message about something entirely different, and his response was that Russillian had the child. I think you remember meeting the child.
Yes, the small baby that Pavo would carry around with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not small anymore.
Yeah, not small anymore.
Left him in Gray's custody, and
We left the child with Gray. We learned that the child was a dragon. And then the last we heard from Gray, he said he was asking us to meet him in the East because Russillian had the child. And then he was cut off. And we learned later that he's being held in kind of a stasis by Russillian.
I see. And you've not heard word if he's all right or not since then?
We haven't tried to get in touch with him, but...
Is he even alive
No.
at this point?
Russillian said he is. It sounds like he's just frozen in like a time bubble.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's okay, but he can't hear a message. He can't leave. He's just stuck.
this is also taking the word of a madman, so
And he has nothing to benefit by lying about that, though.
And you haven't tried contacting him again, have you?
Recently.
No, I could try again, but I have to wait until the morning. I was on a space rock.
yes, we know.
I know.
Might I
just
suggest
figure shit.
if you're not able to reach Gray that you reach out to Quinn? I believe she would want to know this information.
Yeah,
We will.
I'll have to wait till the morning now.
All right, then. I believe that Quinn will probably know what's best to do in this scenario. But we'll leave it to her.
Okay.
Very good. Well, given the time it's taken us to get here and the time we've spent here, I'm sure that word has got back to the other council members. Unless there's somewhere else you'd like to go in the city, perhaps we should make our way back to the town hall and discuss what we should do next.
Will my parents be at the town hall?
They aren't necessarily sitting in with council meetings like the rest, but they're welcome to join if you'd like to invite them.
I will.
All right. Would you like to meet us back to the town hall then?
Sure.
We will wait for the meeting for you to commence for both you and your parents, as well as Lady Vander.
Thanks, Birdie.
Of course. All right, to expedite this time frame a little bit, is there anything you'd like to do before the meeting with the council?
Not before the meeting, no.
Okay. For the sake of time,
I would like.
Sorry, go ahead, Ollie.
Sorry.
No, by all means.
Just Ollie would like to just like take some time to go and prepare some of his abilities, knowing that we're soon going to be fighting a group of undead. and he doesn't want to lose any more companions, especially after seeing the memorial to Alcor. He's gonna rejigger some of his spells.
Okay. Technically, you would do that at a long rest. So tomorrow morning, we'll say that you've gone ahead and prepared whatever you think is best for the upcoming battle.
Okay.
Cool.
If there's enough time for a short rest, I will use my arcane recovery and gain back a spell slot, just in case.
We'll say that
Eli's just gonna. Oh, no, go ahead.
While you all return to the town hall, waiting for Eli and his parents to join, we'll say that you all have time to take a short rest if any of you need it for anything. Sorry, Eli, what would you like to do?
That was it. Just go see his parents.
Okay. Going and seeing your parents once more. They welcome you, happy to see you, as always. And would be more than happy to join you at the council. As you and your mother and father both make your way back to the town hall, you enter into the same room that Birdie had brought you in once before. There you see a number of individuals. Some you recognize, one in particular that you don't. Sitting directly beside Birdie to her left, a strange, druidic individual. Mushrooms hanging from his shoulders. However, the vest and the attire seems much nicer than what you had seen the last time. It seems Sangorn has moved up in the world since the last escapades. As he sees you, he throws his hands in the air. Ah, my friends! It's so good to see all of you again! Oh, and you all smile so well. Eli, you and me, you have to do encore. Yes,
That's
my friend.
That's my guy.
Oh God, these two.
Good to see you, buddy. How's it going? You look great.
I feel great. I've got a new robe. See the vest?
I can see that. Fantastic.
Oh.
Not used to seeing you and your buddies there so clothed.
Well, till the night happens, there's not much that has changed, yes.
Eli's smiling like very brightly.
Yes, and I remember, you were naked too.
He'll like look at his parents and he'll be like
both look down towards you,
no wink.
Very unsure of what Sangorn's talking about.
Don't worry about it. It's all good. We had some fun.
On the opposite side of the table, a loud voice bolsters out. This damn druid's making all the noise as he used to. But it is a pleasure to see all of you again. I saved some ale for all of you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. The last batch was delicious.
I'm glad to hear it.
Wow.
A quick
Hopefully
look over
it
at Ollie,
brought
like,
Hopefully it
What
brought up
character?
all of the best of memories for you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Question for the DM: Am I
All
still
of you
doing a
make
deep
a
voice, or
deception
has it
check.
been 3 hours?
No, it's been 3 hours.
Okay, good. Deception checks.
All of you make deception checks for me. Save for Ash, if he wants to.
Oh, sorry, guys.
15.
I got a
Also
7.
15.
Okay, I'll bring yours up.
9.
It's a
Wait, I'm going to
7.
use my inspiration that I got.
All right, go right ahead. Also, Eli,
That's
I forgot to
worse.
mention, you do have Bardic Inspiration.
Do I have to use it?
You do not have to use it.
I will not.
Okay.
We got a 27.
Oh, good.
Whoa.
You got a 9 if that helps.
It's
Oh, no.
Based on the average,
Charming them.
Bobicus Oh, right. Alara, did you roll with disadvantage?
Oh, right. No. Well, I mean, I got a 7. Okay.
I rolled a 7 too.
My next roll is an 18, so 7.
7. Okay. Fair enough.
Thanks for the dark heart foul. I think
Yeah,
it
well,
was.
you earned it that time.
I did.
Crimson would be proud.
Yeah.
Bobicus gives a big smile to all of you. Well, there's plenty more where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Along with that, sitting next to them as well is Betsa and Lady Vander. And one individual that you hadn't seen before. Birdie motions towards him. A newest member of our council. He represents the Harbor District. That's where he's been mostly. We thought a proper representation of each one of the communities would be best to guide and give governance over these lands.
Naturally.
The individual stands up. You see a man very wide set. A scruffy beard, as well as a few scars on his face. Well, it's a damn pleasure to meet all of you, I have to say.
Hi. I'm Alara.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Lara, pleasure to meet you. I heard much about you.
Oh. Okay. What's your name?
My name? Just call me Greg. Greg Alos.
Oh,
Greg Alos. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the harbor designer. I make most of the boats all the time. Or at least design for people. They put them all together for me. But I do the art and architecture and whatnot. I'm sorry, I never met celebrities before. This is a little weird for me.
Weird for us.
Never been called a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call ourselves celebrities.
Yeah.
Well, I would beg to differ. If I could, I'd make a boat based on each of you.
Well, that is something we're thinking about, but not why we're here.
Well, if you want, you're kind of pretty. I mean, you look good on one of those like statues on the front of the boats. I could do it up
Thank
real
you.
quick for you.
Oh, don't distract me, please.
Yeah.
It sounds
I
so
think it
wonderful.
I think he was talking to Alara there, Lucy. Pretty boy.
Oh,
I
right,
don't-
yeah. No, Alara. Yeah,
Yeah, I could do
See,
a whole
actually?
series based on all of you.
no idea.
Flotations
who he was
of
talking to.
Defiance. It'd be great. Be fantastic.
Would be something.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to
But
work
for
something
now-
out. Oh, right. I forgot.
Matter at
There's-
hand.
there's something important.
For now, while
Birdie.
we're here.
Birdie, if you want to take over at this point, I think I'm screwing the pooch a little bit here. Yes, well, now that we've all gathered here, perhaps it's time that the wards give us a proper understanding of what they're suggesting. From my understanding, there's an undead army that heads towards a tomb of an ancient primordial dragon. If this dragon was to reawaken, it would cause devastation. Cataclysmic devastation. On all fronts. They've mentioned they look for resources. But perhaps I'll turn over to them. Is there any of you that speak for the group?
Well,
Okay. You got it, Lucy?
sure thing. Lucy will stand up. It's no news to anyone here that Trellis has had some rough times itself. And you're only still in the not so early stages of recovery.
But at least those pricks are gone.
Well said. Points. Bobicus.
Hey,
However,
Raises a mug to you.
this new threat could ruin all the progress you've made so far.
Bit of an understatement.
We're here to humbly request troops, if you can spare them. Any able body will do. Supplies for said troops, if you have them or can spare them. I know that we're asking a lot, and all I can say that in this situation, from what we understand, inaction will lead to inevitably to destruction.
Well, I don't know much that we can do in ways of fighting for you, but I know the harbor would be willing to help if we put it towards them that way.
None.
What do you have for suggestions for a bunch of boatmen?
I mean, if we find a bunch of people willing to fight here, it could be helpful to, transport them to the battlefield. I mean, we have the flying ship, but if we can approach from different angles, that might be better strategically.
We could probably arrange something like that. Ollie, go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Five.
Doing good.
Well, I'll have to speak to the harbor master, but it sounds very dangerous. I don't know if we can commit.
Well, again, as the people of Boku can attest, and point over to Miss Vander. These things have the potential to destroy a city and the potential to move onto neighboring cities. I worry it's only a matter of time. We either collectively attack them together or let them pick us off one by one.
That's right. This one's for all the marbles.
And what's in it for the laborers? We've broken our back for so long. You say that we're at risk here, but how can we be certain that we'll even come home?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There is no guarantee you'll come home.
But if we don't fight these guys, then there will be no homes.
Trix, make a persuasion check for me.
And that's a 27.
Oh, God.
That'll do.
That's a big boy.
Oh, it's been a while since I've fought, and I know the laborers are hurt. I'll gather them. They'll need some, well, motivation, but we'll get it done. You have my axe.
Jesus Christ.
Trix, roll a D100 for me.
Yoke. And that is a 98.
98.
I don't know if that's good or not, but that's.
I don't know.
Holy moly.
So
Roll
you're
that high in
sending
a
98 troops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
Good back-to-back rolls, dude. Shit.
Holy moly.
And the people that are more of the spiritual kind. Oh, that's tough. Tell me. That's a big switch. Tell me. Fuck. What is it that you look for the spiritual people for to do?
No? Ollie, maybe you should take this one.
Well, yeah, we could use healers. You seem like you might have a bunch of herbs that might heal people or treat wounds or, anything you can do to aid the people. Or do you guys have like food banks maybe?
We've got all of the things, my friend.
Well, yeah, that and also it's going to be a very rough time. So you seem pretty uplifting. So moral support's always good. Maybe some like group chants.
I
to boost
thank you.
morale.
I think what he's saying is we'll need combat medics. Anyone who's not afraid to get a little dirty, and maybe we can set up some kind of triage center near the battlefield, where some of the more lighthearted healers can do their part. Wink at Ollie. Good job.
You are a man of the faith as well? He looks to Ollie.
Oh, okay, thank you. I was gonna say no.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually one of Gibble's clerics.
I have no idea who that is, but he sounds fantastic. Tell
great.
me,
Yeah.
will there be a party afterwards?
If we survive this, I'm sure there's going to be parties for weeks.
Yeah.
Bring your mushrooms.
Ollie, go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, hooray. That's a D12.
Oh no.
Roll that one.
The advantage one was a natural 20.
Hey.
Nice.
At 20.
Parties for weeks? Why didn't you say that in the first place? Of course we'll come and help. Ollie, go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Okay. I'm gonna do that on the website because I forget how to roll a D1. Oh, yeah, it's two of those things. All right.
Yep.
78.
Nice.
78. You will have 78 reinforcements from the religious district.
Nice.
Amazing.
Someone rolls a D100. It's like a 2.
Yeah.
I know a couple guys.
We got Bill and Ted over here.
As long as they're awesome, it don't matter, right?
Yeah, right.
Lady Vander then speaks up, turning towards Lucy. We want to help. We really do. But as you know, our people have been through so much already. And now we have a chance to return back to Boku without those things there. Are you really willing to risk the chance with your own people, Lucy?
When everything's on the line, you have to risk everything. People of Boku are hardier than they get credit for. And we have a score to settle.
Lucy, go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
Hell yeah.
Got this. Got this. Let's go.
So good. That is a 28.
Nice.
19 plus 9.
A wide smile crosses your mother's face. My little Lulu's grown up.
God.
Only a little. A wink.
I always wished that you would have raised to the stature of your grandfather. But I see that's not the case. You've become so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll a D100 for me, Lucy.
Oh my God, what have we done?
Did you jinx yourself?
It's 2 people, isn't it?
I rolled a 2. I swear to God, like I want to see you guys. Like, oh God, you can't see it. Just trust me, it's a 2. It's literally
Oh my
a 2.
God, wow.
No. Nice.
We'll make some
Just
adjustments.
Bets and my mom coming. Sorry.
Bets on your mom. Hey.
Given how high your persuasion was, we'll boost that up to 2% of the Bokuian people that arrived. So 10 individuals will join you from Boku. Birdie looks to you all. You seem to have won the hearts of the people within this room. They're willing to dedicate their people's lives to you. However, if you wish to inspire those, so you do have a chance to win, you'll need to address them. From my understanding, there will be a feast held by Lady Vander and Betsa tomorrow. Prior to the feast, I think it best that the wards address the people directly. We'll make sure that word gets sent to each of the districts and communities. But it's you who must rally these people.
We can take care of that.
Good. Good. Well, if there's nothing left, should we call this adjourned?
Hey, Babacus.
Aye.
What do you got for us in terms of supplies?
For the war?
Yeah. Didn't you run a blacksmith shop?
He ran an adventurer shop. So there was just kind of odds and ends, mundane items.
Okay, well, I thought
think
you
you're
were
looking for
a beer. I was
You
like,
need
hell
type of
yeah.
ones.
Like,
Yeah, for the feast, yeah.
No.
I don't have much, little one, but what I do have is yours.
Thanks, Babacus.
Nice.
Aye. I'll make sure to bring a few kegs with me as well. If there's going to be a party afterward, of course.
Right
I
there.
think we promised Sangorn.
And don't forget, friend, we have to do the duet as well.
I won't. I'll put up.
We all sing in victory, yes?
Can I put on my invisibility cloak? And then I'll start singing.
Just like I remember. Oh,
Ah,
invisible friend.
Sangorn.
Yeah. Oh, good times. I hope to sing with you again, my friend.
Me too, Sangorn. Me too. And I'll look at
I feel
Birdie.
like that was a weird, chilling moment that like was foreshadowing something. Is that just me?
Really?
I don't think so.
Just you. We're just,
All right,
I was having a
just
great
on
time.
edge, I guess.
Foreshadowing a musical duet.
Yeah, what? What are you worried about?
That's how we're going to end the campaign. One giant musical battle. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up at this point before the meeting is adjourned? All right. Well, if there's nothing more, then best to get your rests for the evening. We all have long days tomorrow.
Thank you all again.
Bye.
Appreciate your help.
Of course, yeah. As the council members stand and begin to leave the room one by one. Is there anything else y'all'd like to do for the remainder of the evening?
Just hang out with his family.
Okay. You all make your way back to the mansions. Lady Vander has been kind enough to make rooms for each of you within the mansion that she resides in. Eli, if you'd rather stay with your folks, that's absolutely fine.
Yep.
All right. And is there anything anyone else would like to do before the end of the night? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
As everybody go to bed, I will go to my room, look into the distance, and kind of feel sad and nostalgic, and I will shapeshift into a bird and fly off. Going to spend the night somewhere else.
Okay.
You meant just straight up leave.
Yeah, I can't even see it.
Are you Alcor? What the fuck?
On the eve of battle. Just
More like Nelly Furtado.
Jesus Christ, Chris.
Wow.
Oh.
I don't understand.
Don't worry, you don't have to.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, on my way to bed, I'm just gonna say good night, Lulu, to Lucy.
I'll just look back like.
And if my room has a balcony, I want to just fly up to the top of the roof and just kind of sit and look over the town. Just kind of, that whole peering out over the, the scenery, just, the calm before the storm type deal. Just taking it all in.
Yep, absolutely. The quiet of the town is eerie, but also beautiful in the late hours. For you, Pavo, it feels almost like the first bit of calm you've had in a very long time.
I'll take a bath.
And as you...
Sorry, I thought you were
We'll get to
done.
you in a second, Eli.
Important.
And as you look out on the landscape, you see a strange fur-covered bird fly off into the distance.
Oh.
God. It's Ho.
Eli, after spending some time, well, we'll say you have your bath before spending time with the family.
I think they would appreciate that.
You spend the night recounting the tales of heroicism, of shenanigans, pranks, and more to your parents. Spend some time playing with your younger sister, Ellis. She still has the tooth necklace around her neck. And Alara, is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah, I will go to Lucy's room. No.
Okay. Is this a sleepover?
Bow chicka wow.
Sleepover time.
Yeah, we'll see.
If I play my cards right, what would you...
Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Oh, hey. We'll open the door.
Thanks. I'm just wondering, and she's like completely awkward. She's not even looking at you. She's like, I just was wondering, okay, look, I know you heard everything that I was saying earlier. And that's really awkward. So can we just like pretend that like didn't happen?
I think, sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is I'm a little bit worried because when I was with Racilian and when the other me came to save me, I asked her about you. And this might be really scary to hear, but she said that you didn't make it in her timeline. And when we were in the temple, that other lady, I forget her name, said that you were going to lose. And I'm really nervous about that. And I also, I just want you to stay here and not come. But then I think about, and I hold up my necklace and I say, I haven't even checked my necklace. Is it still working?
The sands in your necklaces seem to have stopped.
Are Lucy's still going?
No.
So as you're saying that then, and look at the necklace,
Yeah,
seems like whatever was supposed to happen ran out of time.
For me, that makes sense. For you, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. And I don't like that. So I don't know what to do. Maybe we can talk to your mom because she knew a little bit about you being the fate breaker.
Maybe. Or we could stop trying to control everything.
Yeah, but I can't leave.
This world is crazy. I mean, yeah, I heard left and right. I'm destined to lose. I'm destined to fail. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I piss on fate. I shit on destiny. I'm the navigator of my life. And I'm not going anywhere. I'll kiss Alara again.
She'll return the kiss.
Make a performance check.
Oh boy.
I'm kidding. Is Alara returning back to her room?
Yeah, she'll get so awkward. She'll be like, okay. You know, you've grown a lot since the Lucy that I met back here. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh.
I think it's because you've grown on me. Good night.
Good night. She'll like awkwardly like back away and then just like walk really fast away.
Of course.
So you'll close the door and do that thing where like you hit your back on the door and you slide down. Just kidding.
Oh, amazing. Alara, as you go back to your room, you walk through the doorway, closing it behind you. About to fall into bed after a very, very long day. And as you lay down, you begin to close your eyes. As a strange vision comes over you.
Oh.
But that, my friends, is going to be a story for another day.
Boo! Boo! What's the change
awesome.
of
It was
fate?
like a love letter to all the people we met.
Yeah,
Could be a good thing.
it could
I
be.
don't know yet. Yeah.
Could be.
You might get your butterfly wings again or whatever.
My angel wings,
Whatever.
Pavel.
Well, that was a fun little episode. I enjoyed that immensely. I saw someone say in chat, how long did it actually take me to go back and learn all the voices all over again? And yes, I definitely had to do that for some of them. But neither here nor there. It was nice to revisit some characters we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. So nice.
And spoilers, there's more to come in next episode. But with that said, we've got some dice to give away, folks. Why don't we go ahead and do that?
Boys.
Whoa, sketch dice, Mithril Armory, best place ever. Go to
Whoa.
mithrilarmory.com and you can see all the other cool stuff they have. They also sell these on their website. Use the code CAREFUL at checkout to get 10% off of your entire cart purchase. You can also get some really cool D&D merch. But these dice, super cool. Make sure you're entered in the contest. Exclamation mark dice. I don't know why it's so hard for me.
I don't know
why.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Again, quick recap. Look, they come blank. You paint them. Amazing. Bobby showed you his a little bit earlier that he did. Super cool. So enter. The only thing you need to do is make sure you're following, and you'll have to end up giving us a shipping address. So those are the deals.
Amazing. So, 2 caveats. Got to put exclamation point dice down in the thing below. Make sure that you are following Dredgen Wolf. It's exclamation point dice. Just so you can get thrown onto there. And also just follow his lead. Make sure that you are following. You have to be following in order to enter. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes before we go ahead and do that. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. For the hype train that's just started, thank you again, as always, to the wonderful GF Powers for the 100 bits. Rowdy for the 100 bits, the infamous Bob, you wonderful person. I hope you were here to see us rekindle good old Bobicus. We'll be seeing more of him in the future. I absolutely think so. As well, across the streams, thank you for the 2 gifted community subs. Y'all are absolutely wonderful to us. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, we're going to go ahead and close up the entries. And I believe we are going to be, we have a big announcement next week, which we're going to be announcing next week. So I'm not going to go into that any more details. Closing up the entries now.
Just keep teasing it.
Yeah, I just gotta keep going with it. Gotta keep going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner of tonight's wonderful set of sketch dice. Are we doing another giveaway next week for the sketch dice?
Yes, we are.
Is that our last one for the thing?
Nope.
Okay.
Keep doing the drum roll.
Keep doing the drum roll. And thank you,
All right.
Wild
Oh my
Magic RPG,
gosh.
for the 10 gifted subs. You absolute beast. Thank you so much, Carnell. Very much appreciated.
Sorry,
my
wrong
friend.
instrument. I went for the drums and I got this.
Good enough. Good enough. And the winner of
Longest drum
tonight's
roller.
sketch dice is the wonderful and lovely Maritime Gamer, our good friend Nate. Congratulations, my friend. Absolutely amazing.
Nice.
Congratulations on the win, Nate. We'll chat. Talk to one of us, you know.
Message me on Discord.
Yeah.
Nate.
Message any of
Maritime
us.
Gamer.
Hit up the
Yeah.
DMs.
Yeah. Congratulations, my friend, you wonderful human being, you. And guys, thank you so much for joining us for the evening. It has been an absolute blast. It was nice to actually get to the point of where we just had a fun episode again. It's been so serious for so long that it's been really nice to just goof off and be a bunch of idiots for a while. It's needless to say.
Yay, idiot.
Nothing wrong with being idiots for a while, right?
Status quo.
But I think it's time for us to find someone lovely to share the love with. And let's get a quick look to see who is streaming tonight. You guys talk to the audience for a minute for me.
Hi, guys.
Hello,
Hey,
audience.
audience.
How's everyone doing? Ooh, Talk Art of Wednesday tomorrow, 8:30. Be there. Me and Bobby.
Around
Fine.
8:30.
Around.
8:30, 8:35,
Okay.
8:45.
Keep
You
it
know,
loosey goosey.
AM,
you know.
PM.
Keep that mystery alive, you know.
It will be 8:30 somewhere in the world. We just don't know what time zone yet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. So we're going to go ahead and raid our friends over at Dork Tales. They seem to be playing the new Netherlands from Critical Role's new supplement material that just came out. I don't know if it's supplement or if it's official. It's probably a little bit of both. Anyway, stick around for the raid. Show them some love. If you're not already following, hit that follow button when you get there. We'll do CC Love Raid. That's what we do around here. We don't do none of those hate raids around here. If someone from my team can go ahead and pop that down into chat so the wonderful people can copy and paste. Yes, Phoenix, you're absolutely right. Great to see you as always, by the way. Nether Deep. That's the one I was looking for. But before we leave, my friends, I have one last thing to say to all of you. Whether rekindling with friends, convincing them to head off to a war, or trying to make sense of whatever hell language water elementals speak.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
I beg of you all, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip.
Or sneeze.
Or sneeze.
Or sneeze.
Lucy's rubbing off.
God damn it. God damn all of you.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
I'm just going to start muting you for my outro. No, I'm not going to do that. No.
Bye, guys.
Love all your faces. We'll see you tomorrow night or next week or whenever we see you next. And until that time, take care of each other.
Bye.
Or
Love you.